Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Isaac Hansen. I'm the assigned planner for the New Earth Farms LLC conditional use permit and special permits in the Willow Creek area. This slide shows the location of the applications near to the Willow Creek area. The project takes access off of Highway 299 via Friday Ridge Road, Staten Lane, and also over a Forest Service system road before finally arriving at the private access road. The applicant has certified that all road segments provide enough use to be considered the equivalent of a Category 4 road. This application consists of 3 case types, one for cultivation, one for setback reduction to public lands, and another for work in the Streamside Management Area, or SMA. The first portion for cultivation, the key project details. The project is 20,000 square feet of existing outdoor cannabis, along with approximately 2,000 square feet of appurtenant nursery facilities. The water is sourced from an existing on-site well. The applicant has water storage in the form of hard tanks totaling 18,800 gallons. The applicant has estimated that the annual water use is 225,000 gallons. Drying would occur on-site with all other processing occurring at a licensed off-site processing facility. The electricity source is from generator power. And the applicant is also proposing some on-site relocation to move portions of the cultivation area out of the Streamside Management Area to an environmentally superior location on-site. That new location has also been previously disturbed by agricultural use. This is a copy of the most recent site plan, and the next slide shows a detail. Here you can see the 4 discrete cultivation areas. You can also see that the southwesternmost cultivation area is what is nearest to the Streamside Management Area buffer. And you can see that these greenhouses that were once all the same length have now been reconfigured and sort of moved towards the southeast in order to meet the Streamside Management Area buffer. Additionally, as a condition of approval, the applicant will flag the location of this buffer in order to ensure that no cultivation or any other development would occur on the wrong side of the buffer area. Continuing, one of the special permits is for setback reduction to public lands. As you can see, the parcel has public lands on both the east and west sides. This is owned by the Forest Service, specifically the Six Rivers National Forest. And the applicant has had the western property boundary surveyed by a professional licensed surveyor and determined that the closest cultivation area is 256 feet away. This ensures that the project is not actually trespassing onto Forest Service land, and the special permit for your consideration would change the setback from 600 to 256 feet as surveyed. The next special permit is for work in the SMA, and it involves multiple portions. So one would be to, as part of the on-site relocation, the applicant would be remediating the historic cultivation location, so moving the cultivation from that area to the environmentally superior area, perhaps reseeding and recontouring that historic area. Those are the uses that would be permitted on this portion of the special permit. There's also a shed located inside of the SMA currently, and so that would need to be demolished and restored. And finally, the applicant, or not this applicant, but a previous landowner constructed a pond on the site without the benefit of county review or the proper permits. And so a notice of nuisance was recorded in June of 2014. The landowner at that time submitted an application to permit this pond in 2015, and then the cannabis application was submitted, and so the pond is riding along with the cannabis permit for that reason. So if this special permit were to be approved along with the full project tonight, that would enable the notice of nuisance to be resolved, or at least it would be a portion of that. So the pond has no nexus to cannabis cultivation. As you can see on the screen, the applicant has indicated that the uses are for domestic, recreation, fire suppression, and aesthetics. The applicant has chosen not to use this pond for cannabis, and as part of the construction of the pond and outflow, it will actually reconnect the stream back to where it was originally flowing. So these are the three uses that would be permitted under this special permit. This project was before the Planning Commission in April of 2018, and at that time it was continued because there were a few items that needed to be addressed. We believe we've addressed them at this time. So commissioners at that time expressed concern that the applicant had to use Forest Service roads to access their parcel. Since that time, the director has indicated that we are able to continue permitting these sites as long as we are warning the applicant of the consequences associated with being stopped by a federal agent on that road. In this case, the applicant has been made aware and accepts that, that concern. Additionally, I believe a commissioner expressed concern that we were attempting to permit a reduction in the setback without having a referral response from the Six Rivers National Forest. Since that time, we have received a referral response. The Forest Service recommended that a survey be completed. The applicant completed that survey, and we sent the results of that survey to the Forest Service and have received no further comments on the issue. Continuing, there was a concern about the reduction to streamside management area setback, but that is actually no longer proposed as part of this project. The applicant is instead relocating out of the SMA. And finally, there was concern about the amount of fire suppression infrastructure. Since then, the pond has been designated as a fire suppression source, and the applicant has designated which tanks would be used for CAL FIRE if needed. So the conclusion of this is the CEQA considerations. The items you see in front of you on the screen contributed to staff's understanding that this project was previously considered under the mitigated negative declaration for the ordinance itself, and that is part of staff's recommendation to find the project consistent with that MND, as well as make all the required findings and adopt the resolution for approving the CUP and 2 SPs. I believe the applicant and agent may be here to answer questions, but I am also available at this time.
Any questions for staff?
Yes. The question I had pertained to the Forest Service roads, and thank you for your very thorough staff report. I was just wondering if there had been any cases where we have received reports where this has become an issue, because I know it has become an issue recently in Colorado, and I was just wanting an update on what we know regarding minimizing setbacks to federal land where these farms are still technically illegal. Thanks.
So in terms of the access, really nothing has changed. The federal government cannot say that they are going to grant access for cannabis purposes across federal land. And so the access to the property is across the road that goes across federal land. So the access is legal. It's just really transporting the cannabis that becomes the issue. And there is a condition on page 20. It's condition 20 or condition 7 there that is an informational condition for the applicant, making them aware of that. In terms of the setbacks, we try to coordinate with the whatever agency holds the property. Typically what they want to they want to know, and it sounds like in this case, this was done, is to know that the property line is in the correct location, and that cultivation is not encroaching either onto their property or too close to the property. And so in this case, there was a survey done to demonstrate that the property line is in the correct location. There are situations where the property is managed for habitat purposes, and in those cases, we would look at the issues associated with the habitat.
Thank you, Director Ford. And so we haven't had any reports in Humboldt County, at least, of any pushback from federal bodies regarding access.
We've not had pushback, no.
Thank you.
Can you point out the federal lands on the map so I can?
One of these slides shows it. So the light green shaded parcels right here and right here, these are the publicly owned lands, and our parcel is right here.
So there's buildings on the Forest Service land to the right?
I'm not sure if I see buildings. Is that?
I'm looking at this map here.
What page is that?
Page 9.
My page 9 is a zoning map.
Yeah.
Do you mean page 10, maybe?
Mine says 9, but maybe I'm looking at the wrong one.
Your shape looked a little too rectangular. That might be the wrong one.
Patterson Road, Willow Creek?
No, that's
Oh, a different one, okay.
Noah, you had a question?
Oh, yeah, thanks. First of all, thank you for that thorough report. And I wanted to, I remember this one. I remember having some concerns. I really want to thank the staff and commend the applicant and agent for jumping through a few extra hoops, which seems like they did resolve my concerns. And something that I don't think you even mentioned, which I don't remember being in the original permit application, but given the proximity to wildlife habitat on 2 or 3 sides, I really appreciate what I saw in the staff report about, sorry, I just lost that page, about the additional noise attenuation measures that were taken so as to reduce the sound at 100 feet to, I think, 38 decibels or less. And in that same section of the staff reports, sorry, I've lost the page that I was on, but I believe it said that another condition of the project now is that no lights nor fans will be used as part of cultivation. I just wanted to make sure I understood that correctly.
So through the chair, the condition, I think, is that the no lights or sound sources could be used until the applicant submits a light and noise attenuation plan that would ensure that those would be within the performance standards.
Okay. Until, yes, got it. I just found that sentence and I see, I misread it. But nevertheless, I do appreciate that the staff and the applicant are taking seriously our concerns about disturbing the habitat on the surrounding public lands. I don't think I have any further questions.
Any other questions? If not, I will open this up for public comment if the applicant wants to say anything about his project. Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the commission.
I motion to approve New Earth Firms LLC, the conditional use permit and special permits, application number 11901. And under, I believe, 2.0, a mitigated negative, CEQA mitigated negative declaration
This would be 1.0.
Oh, it's 1.0.
Yeah.
1.0. That's it.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll be happy to second that.
Any discussion? If not, I'll call for the question. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. All right.